listening to the Kazual Sportz Show.
Palmer stepping away at first. Palmer extending the play. Crosses the field. Larry Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald is going to take it into Green Bay territory.
The show exclusively known as the voice of the Arizona Cardinals fan club, the Bird Gang.
Fitzgerald inside the 30, the 20. Larry Fitzgerald is insane.
Now with your host, Earl Burnett, a.k.a. Casual E.
Bird Gang on three. 1, 2, 3. Bird Gang.
Greetings, Bird Gang, and welcome to another edition of the Kazual Sportz Show. I am your host, Earl Burnett. He is Sean McConnell. And y'all know we do this for y'all every Monday night, 8 p.m. sharp, no matter what's going on, depending on what's going on with us, of course. Trying to keep you some content during this tough time as we try to get our way out of this, slowly climb out of quarantine and getting back to normal life, hopefully, or some form of normal. But here we are again. We're going to try to pull another rabbit out of our hat and do what we do. You want to follow us? Go ahead and go to our 4 outlets on social media. Y'all know where they are, and you know the tab. Kazual with the Z at the end of the word sports. And I know y'all see that name and logo and everything else from the station blowing up like crazy. So thank you, Bird Gang, for continuing to listen. And also don't forget to download those mobile apps so we can bug you on your phone when the show comes on, and you can go ahead and listen to us then at your beck and call at any one of the shows that are on this wonderful network, KSRN. What's going on, Mr. McConnell?
Man, we went from quarantine to curfew to...
Man, this is weird. This is freaking
I don't know what's next. I mean, the way that I was telling Valentine Flores, I said it feels like the Matrix has a server update, and they just want us to stay inside so we can't see what's going on in the Matrix, because this doesn't feel real.
Yeah, this doesn't feel like real at all. It's really sad, a lot of it, you know. But at the same time, this is our reality now, man. This world is. You hate to say it, at some point it's coming to an end, and I guess things like they're happening now are just.
We're trying now.
Times. Yeah, and it's like this is crazy. It's like wow, but. When it boils down to it, of course, we all know. I know we're going to get into a little bit of this, what's got everybody in an uproar. But when it boils down to it, like Will Smith said on his text, this is nothing new. But yet it feels like to some people like, hey, where'd this come from out of left field? No, this has always been here. It's just like he said, it's all being recorded now. And it's pretty easy now to just stop on a corner and take your phone out and record something.
It's not just an LA gas station anymore. It's 16 different angles in high definition.
There you go. And now it's mandatory now that most these police officers have the cam in their car running. And then when people are getting pulled over, I'm looking on Facebook and on social media, on Instagram, people are taking their phones out when they get pulled over, and it's like countless stories. Yeah. Of them on social media, people getting pulled over, and some of them are rightfully so to be pulled over, and others are not. But this thing is out of control right now. It's where it started at, but here it is. We're in Arizona, and now we're part of what started in Minneapolis, and it's just going statewide. It's just like that dang on. Just like the pandemic, like the virus spreading. This thing is spreading.
Yeah, and I think
it's kind of.
There's another fold for Arizona too that I don't think this just affects the African American community in Arizona. This affects also the Hispanic community in Arizona, because this wasn't just a problem then. It's been a problem for a very long time with the regime of Sheriff Joe Arpaio and the profiling when it came to arrests. This has been a problem in Arizona for a long time. So this is more like an old wound that just got reopened, and Arizona's not going to be very happy about it. And we're seeing that with this curfew, and people still going out with this curfew and doing what they're doing, protesting and whatnot. So
I don't know if you can call this protesting. This is
well, all the good protesting never gets shown, right? That's how it goes.
Right. Exactly. Well, it's really hard to start somewhere with this, because this is a deep subject that's going to cut people are going to get ticked off just continuing to hear about it. You don't want to be part of continuing to make the anger go, but
right.
This is something that you have to talk about. This is something that ain't going away. And thank goodness that those officers are now under police custody right now and going through the process of being, tried to go through, to do this thing, because the autopsy of Mr. Floyd came back that he actually did die of suffocation. So,
right.
It's like that alone, right? Let me start right here. I have seen many arrests in my day. Okay. I have seen it on TV. I've seen it in real life. I've seen it. When a suspect is belligerent or out of control, that tactic with the knee on the back of the throat or the back of the neck is only used if a suspect is not able to be detained.
Right.
But once you use that tactic and you get the cuffs on the suspect, that's when you're supposed to lift up and turn him over.
Yeah.
And then he's no threat to you.
And it shouldn't certainly take as long as it took.
Exactly. You have the cuffs on him. He's no threat. And it's for y'all. And the cuffs are on him. Why stand there or sit there with your knee on his neck like that? Other than any other way that it's a personal vendetta against that particular color of people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it looked like.
Right.
And then the people that are standing around that are watching the other officers just as arrogant, or standing around like Superman with their arms on their hips like they're somebody. Like, yeah, we got this. It's like you're not following the protocol that you were trained with in school.
Or you don't even see what's happening to the individual. You're just turning a blind eye to the fact that he's literally saying he can't breathe.
Now, if he's saying that and all of a sudden stops saying it and there's no sound coming from him, I mean, come on.
That's a good sign.
That's a good sign. I mean, then you got to go back to, okay, yes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have never been one to say it's okay to do any crime to have the police have to come to you.
Right.
I mean, there's a root reason why things happen. The police don't come unless there's an issue. Okay, I get that. But there's a way to handle every issue. And it has a book that you're supposed to go by to handle those issues. So regardless of what he did, a $20 dang on counterfeit bill, okay, that deserves to go to the jail or go to jail or whatever to get prosecuted. I mean, to get a fine or whatever they find, whatever it may be, the punishment to that.
Yeah.
That's the consequence.
But the punishment did not fit the crime.
That is not the consequence to a $20 doggone offense. That just blows my mind. That they can overblow it to where it's that big, and they think it's that way. They in their heads they think it's that big.
Yeah.
As those officers sitting there on his neck like that. And then most of those guys like to lean back on, I feared for my life, so I had to keep to do certain things. There was no weapon. There was no. I mean, I don't even really see a sign of him resisting, but I'm pretty sure there were probably some little resistance there. But it's not warrant to leave on a gurney dying and perishing.
The I feared for my lifeline has quickly turned into the equivalent of a children's argument saying, well, he started it. The I feared for my lifeline with cops nowadays is supposed to be some sort of get out of jail for free card for them, when in all reality we've seen body cams of teenagers running away getting shot in the back or a knee on the neck. You're not afraid for your life in that position. And also, there's these brilliant things they give you called tasers.
Exactly.
If you need to use a taser, fine. But you don't need to take lethal action. And that is, it's so hard, man, because obviously I still have respect for the cops that do the right job and do it the right way. But there has to be some sort of change in training or proper vetting to find out whether it's under immense pressure, what a person will do. But something is wrong, and I don't know where to start. It's overwhelming.
That's the key. Where do you start? How can you just start? It's like, how can you start something now that's so far gone? I mean, I know. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm not, on board with trying to fix this thing. I am.
Right.
I really am. But like this thing has been going on for so long that, I mean, you know where a lot of it starts? Of course, we know it starts at home when parents are teaching their kids hate from age 1, 2, 3 on up. And you may not have to go to that child and literally say to them in their face, "Don't do it." You can teach your children by your actions.
Yeah.
Oh, if your child is playing in a sandbox and you see a black kid come by and you go and pick your child up and remove your child just because the black kid's coming by, that's teaching your kid hate.
Right.
And there's other ways you can teach hate. You don't have to be literally from your mouth telling them whatever. You can teach them just by your actions.
Or
that's where this whole thing is going to start from.
The things you may say if someone from a different color cuts you off on the freeway.
Exactly.
I mean, it trickles down so much from what you say, and then it flows into the generations beneath you. It's
right.
Insane.
And it's something that's, it's hard to live with, and people that have not lived it, it's hard to get them to understand it sometimes.
Yeah.
My wife got together 5 years ago. She has no clue about this thing, and I'm trying to school her on some of this street smarts and some of the things that are happening. Even her sons tried to school her on some of this stuff. And it wasn't registering. It doesn't register because you have to actually live it and see. They think you're over exaggerating things, or maybe you're provoking this thing to happen this way. No, you don't. I come from a long line of dealing with this back in the day in South Central Los Angeles, so I can tell you what it's like. But it's not pretty. It's not. It's a difficult thing to deal with, knowing that you're not getting the same treatment or it's the equal treatment as anybody else. That's what's so hard about it.
Yeah.
And what can you do to fight it? Where do we go from here right now? Where do we go? Officials, Senate, all of our governors and all these people that are in the higher places haven't listened to us up to this point.
Right.
So we go from here.
I don't know, honestly. I mean, the hope here is that more people that share the pigment of skin that I have will make the right choices, because apparently that's the one thing that gets changed, which is ridiculous to me. I mean, there was a post that I saw, Valentine actually shared it, of a woman who called the police on a man who was speaking Spanish.
What?
And I said, assumptions, fear, and their own insecurities. I can't stand this mindset that people have. We all need to show true love to each other first. And it starts with people that share my same pigment first. And not when it's convenient or during a time like this. It should have been from the start. And I said, I love you, bro, and I apologize for this world. It's so messed up that we've, as a nation, turned a blind eye to this and acted like this hasn't been going on. Or choosing the actions and feeding into all of this, or believing what politicians are going to tell us, when we can actually make the change in voting booths, who we put in power.
Right.
We can make that change.
Another thing that's kind of fueling this fire, our own president is fueling this fire too.
He's definitely not making it better.
Definitely not doing anything to make it better. He's fueling the fire, and it feels to me that it's not helping the situation to reach out to your officials, to your governor officials, and tell them that they're weak and they're pathetic because they can't keep the riot under control. Use more force. You're supposed to use more force. You're just compounding the problem.
Yeah,
that's compounding the problem. I mean, this guy. I mean, listen. I don't want to get into the politics things, but
no, and you're right, because fighting fire with fire, where does that get you?
Yeah, where is that going to get?
It's a bigger fire.
Remember, we had this last time we talked a little bit about the politics there, and I asked, "Where's the compassion from Mr. President?" How about showing a little bit of compassion that a man was killed on the streets?
Yeah,
or murdered on the street. Let me just let's keep that, politically correct.
Yeah.
Murdered on the streets for no reason. So what do? Praise the police for it? I mean, come on, man. This guy, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to get all up into that, but
The one thing that sticks out the most to me, and it's at my heart the most, that I think is the most proactive, is what I saw in Flint, Michigan,
right?
Where the police force actually laid down their helmets, their batons, and marched with them.
Right.
This opens up discussion. This opens up respect both ways. This opens up understanding, community. These are all things that are good things, right?
Right.
Arresting a man who's on his knees and peacefully protesting to you, which I saw in South Carolina.
Right.
I obviously didn't see the whole video, but I am assuming that this man was innocent and then arrested for speaking is the absolute opposite.
Exactly.
And there's no unity as far as how this is being handled. It's just overall chaos everywhere. And what we need is to show love, show understanding, and to put it bluntly, white ignorance is not making it any better.
That ignorance is the whole key to the whole thing. I mean, unity. I mean, we have this whole world has been in social distancing way before the pandemic started.
Right.
We have been distanced or set separate, because of I don't know how to say it, because of I don't know where it comes from, that there's a stigma, or there's something in place that there's a authoritative race, or a race that's more over than everybody else.
Yeah.
Superior. There's the word I'm looking for. There's a superior race, and everybody else is under that race.
And it's built into the system.
How do we get rid of that? See, that's what's leading everything.
Yeah.
That's what leads a white lady to pick up her phone and call just to be calling, because she knows when that officer comes, regardless of what's coming out of her mouth, she's going to have the upper hand.
Right.
And see, that right there has to change. How is that going to change? I don't see how that can be changed. That has to be changed. If you are powerful enough to change hearts, that's how that changes.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening any other way.
Because obviously in that scenario, that specific scenario, the police has to respect the call. But if the police doesn't have a fair understanding of both parties and not predetermining the outcome before he gets there or she gets there, then you're doomed. They have to be able to see both sides and give everyone a fair, truly fair shot. Obviously, I'm wearing the hat backwards today. It's the Cardinal hat, but it says, "Together we can do more." I did that on purpose for today because this is the only way anything's going to get changed here. And we've got statements from all the pro Arizona organization today. I've got one from Peterson pulled up. We all have to.
Yeah.
His was. I don't know if I should read it all. I'll probably butcher it, but we should all be together on this. And the only way that we can truly affect change is to truly be together and open and raw, because my race has a lot of understanding they need to do. That's the fact of it. There's a lot of empathy needed. There's a lot of just what can I do? That's what you should be asking. What can I do?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these people, like you said, your race and all those things, they need understanding, but a lot of these people are adults. They understand.
They should.
They should understand. They understand. They're just caught up in the power trip of knowing that thinking they're the superior race, and that automatically is. I mean, just think of your kids. When you teach your kid, like I said, it starts at home. But at the same time, when kids have dreams and aspirations, they shouldn't have to go, well, if you're a white kid with those dreams and aspirations, half the battle's won already, because you got your pathway is a lot easier than the next man.
Right.
If the African American child, you got to go through all kinds of hoops and all. I mean, just as an example, I mean, I hate to say it, but the truth is the truth. Look at the example of when we built this network and how we had to build it.
Yeah.
And how when I go out into this media forum that we're in, we don't get the same attention because I'm leading this thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I go out there, you don't get the same treatment from big organizations. For one of them, preferably the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Sometimes They ignore you. You're not big enough. You're not who we deal with.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that they are, doing anything discriminative or anything. I'm just saying there's a stigma that's in place that automatically trumps everything else.
Yeah.
Why isn't everything equally fair? Is all I'm saying. And that's what this whole thing is about. All this rioting out here and all this stuff that's going on is why aren't things fair? Everybody should be treated with the exact same fairness in every situation. But
yeah,
you can go to job interviews. You can go to media outlets. Who's the next guy up for this next big job? You can go to every little thing. Every situation is ran by the stigmas and the stereotypes. You want to call them whatever you want to call them. They're being ran by that instead of being run. Look at the NFL.
I was just going to say, it's not just in the corners of the small businesses. It's all the way up to the coaching.
African American coaches, because this big eyesore has been in the way for decades, and it's not going to go anywhere.
And it's bad enough for the NFL with all these, what is it, the majority white owners.
Right.
That now there has to be rules in place on how many minority coaches you need to interview.
Right.
It's that bad.
And
that is bad. It shouldn't have to be that.
Right. Just even the thought of we have to come up with something to get people to interview African American coaches. Just even have that thought alone is bad.
Especially when the majority of the players are not white. If you play a full career and you want to become a coach, I would rather have you than some dude.
Right. And see, that's it. It's just we have all these stigmas and stereotypes and all these things that were passed down from generation to generation to generation that we can't get rid of. And it's still there. It's not going anywhere. You don't know. I mean, I know I can't say you don't know how this feels because you don't, but I mean, just the average African American male has it really hard because just their presence alone in certain situations causes an uproar. When I was young, thank God for my mom. I really do. I thank God for her because she kept me out of a lot of things and taught me a lot of things because she was street smart. She had to be the same way. I would get in my car and I would and I teach this to my kids. Don't put the hat on when you drive. Sorry, I had to say that, and my mom did it to me when I was coming up. Don't put the hat on, and definitely don't wear it backwards, and don't put it on when you're driving because you're just going to attach tension to yourself. These are things we have to deal with. Don't wear this certain color. Don't wear your pants a certain way. Don't wear the whatever. I mean, those things you have to be really, really conscious of because those things attract the police to pull you over. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. I mean, today I was listening to some of the radio stories. I'm like, wow, that's about the same story. I got pulled over just a month or two ago, and I was driving my daughter's car, and she forgot to put the little tag on the back of her license plate. But from the DMV, it was the little tag that was in the window also. So the tag was on the car, but the officer couldn't see the tag on the window when he pulled me over. And so, I was always taught respect him because, hey, he must have a reason to pull me over. Let me find out, let's find out what this is about. So he pulls me over and I'm like, okay, can I help you? Yeah, when was the last time you had your car registered? You know your car's not registered? I said, yes, sir, my car is registered. The tag is on the back of the window. And so he looks and says, oh, I didn't see that. Okay, so in my head, this thing's over with, right? Hey, it's over with. He made a mistake. Sorry, sir, I didn't see it. You should be on your way. Oh, no. He got to look at who I was and what I was looking like and what I look like. Now it's, you got any driver's license and registration? I said, but you made the mistake to didn't see my tag. Now you see my tag. You shouldn't have a reason to pull me over. Why do you have to see my registration and my driver's license? It's just protocol. We have to do that when we make routine stops. I said, yeah, right. Okay. So I just complied.
Yeah.
Gave everything he wanted to do when he left, and I left it alone after that. But when you think back of that, if there had been anybody else, white woman, whatever it was, that would have been, oh, sorry, ma'am, or sorry, sir, going about your way. My fault. I didn't see it.
Well, the opposite story. I mean, I'm a teenager. I'm driving. It's got to be like 12 at night.
Yeah.
I was going to go deliver a bunch of teepee. We're going to go teepeeing, right? To my friend's house. We're going to teepee him. And I got dark tint. I'm obviously playing loud music. I get pulled over. My lights were out. And no license and registration required. Where are you going? I'm just going down the street. Okay. And I was on my way.
Wow.
With like 40 rolls of toilet paper in the back, which was obvious what I was going to go do. Nowadays, I'd be a millionaire, obviously. But, I mean, come on. It pisses me off that has to happen to you and not to me. It's just.
Right.
It's
another
terrible.
thing that you've been in the workplace before. I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
I mean, where your workplace is, there's a certain bravado that comes with males when they're get together around at the workplace. Somebody always got to have a story to tell.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if this type of thing goes around police departments.
Oh yeah.
Of how they did so and so, and they got another this, and they got another that, or they did this and they did that, and they like to come together with this brotherhood type thing to compare stories, whatever you want to call it. They call it the blue code or whatever you want to do when they do things they're not supposed to do, and it's behind the scene. All these guys know about these little evil little things they do behind the scenes, and they go brag about it to all their partners. That's happening. That's happening. You got to break the police department, how they are. My wife is going through that right now. She's in school to go back to do criminal law and get into all of that. And so she's finding out things she's never found out, she's never heard of happening in police departments. And that's one of those things that they need to correct. They need to stop spending so much time teaching these officers how to be marksmen and shooting a weapon, and 20 hours for their whole training is about talking to people and being understanding about the psyche of people.
Yeah.
Spend more time trying to learn how to be marksmen, and then when you're teaching them like that, what do you think they're going to come out of the precinct wanting to do? They're trigger happy.
It's their
default. They want to feel what it feels like to actually shoot that gun at somebody.
Yeah.
So instead of teaching the education about where people's lives are and their cultures and how these things go, and how mental illness and all those type of things are part of this whole thing, where people are in their lives and all, you got to know something about somebody before you just come up, teach them something else.
Yeah.
And see that, and they got to clean up these departments with all this bravado stuff and all this egotistical crap that is going on. Awards, they got probably awards put up for guys that can get these type of things, and they sit in corners and they find the right person, and bam, I got mine today. Did you get one? Did you get one? This is what's going on.
Yeah, it's not car sales.
Exactly.
Right.
And so everybody's trying to figure out what to do, how to do. We got to start. Okay, of course, it's not reality to clean up all the whole thing. We're human beings. I mean, we're the most corrupt thing on the earth.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have something you're gonna deal with and fight against. But you got to. It starts from the top. If the top's corrupt, everything else going down from the top gonna be corrupt.
Right.
So we got to try to clean these things up. And now everybody can understand what Colin Kaepernick was dealing for.
Yeah.
And now you kind of look like egg on your face. Everybody's like got all these, especially the NFL right now. You got egg on your face because this dude was kneeling for exactly what just took place in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
That's what he was kneeling for. Now, he chose the avenue to do it at his job. Okay, that's what brings this into question of why he should be doing it in the NFL's expense. But still, he had a free voice. He did what he did, what he thought was right, and he had something he was standing on. Yeah. This was what he was standing on. Now everybody can kind of understand. Now you got talk. Oh, we need to let him back in now. What? Let him back in now because you see this going on now. This world is just gone, man.
Yeah,
it's gone. No common sense, no care in the world, no compassion, no nothing being shown to anybody anymore. It's crazy,
I mean,
man.
my Colin Kaepernick sense was always, I love wanting to respect my country, and I want to stand for that song, me personally. But it's his freedom to do so. Until the NFL says you can't do that, his employer says you can't do that. It's his freedom to do so. He has a message he wants to stand for. Go for it. It's no different than Tebow kneeling in the end zone.
Right.
To me.
Right.
So
right. Oh, how about bringing the song? How about bringing the bringing everything that the song is representing? How about bringing everything up to that level and letting it actually be what the song says it's supposed to be?
yeah,
How about that? How about bringing everything up to the level where that song is supposed to be at for every individual that's in America? That's what he's kneeling for. The song don't match what we going through. The song doesn't match with this particular race over here or any racism.
yeah,
It's not just black. I mean, there are African American people that are more racist than white people are. But still, there's a hate there that song that he's kneeling against, says it's supposed to be this one unity and one. It's not.
right.
So
I mean, it was taken. America was taken by blood to start.
Right. Exactly. And so I get it. I mean, it is what it is. This is just how it's going to be. We're dealing with human beings. And the only way that you can start to go from let's build from now to the future is future moms, future dads, current moms, current dads that have younger children. Start teaching those children that color does not mean anything. Color does not matter. Start teaching that from a young age. And that's going to start to clear up a few things going forward.
Yeah.
Because if you keep on following where you learned from the previous generation and the previous generation, it's going to continue to keep going. And guess what? It's going to continue to get worse because the generations are getting worse. They're not getting any better. They're getting worse as this thing goes on.
Yeah.
So you just have to start to grab your little girl, grab your little son, pull them to the side and start teaching them that color does not matter. But there are consequences to doing wrong, and that's why we should have police. That's why we should have. Otherwise, this thing will be anarchy all over. You see that a little bit of that right now.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you have to teach that the color shouldn't have anything to do with it.
No, it absolutely shouldn't.
That's where it's going to start, man. That's where it's going to start. It starts at home. Everything starts at home, man. I believe that. I believe that how you're taught at home is how you're going to be as an adult when you leave that house.
Yeah.
Now, do you get influenced by other things? Absolutely you do. But guess what? You're going to always go back to where you were trained at and lean on what you were taught. And if you were taught to hate a certain color, guess what? You can fake it only so long. It's coming out.
Yeah.
It's going to come out. So that's just how it goes, man. I don't want to spend all night on this thing because we can talk about this all night. But let's lean on a little bit of some sports talk right now. I know there is no sports still happening at the moment, but the MLB is in negotiations to coming back. So is the NBA as well, are starting to get ready to negotiate of when to bring back operations and get everything rolling again. So let's start with the subject we don't do too much about, baseball. So we don't normally dive into that. And all day today, I was reaching out to some of my baseball guys, and they kind of were busy because of everything going on, so I didn't get a chance to get them to come on the show tonight. So I said, damn, we on our own, man. We gotta figure this thing out. But it's cool. It's cool. But they're trying to figure out how many games is fair for the players to play and how much they get paid to play those games.
Yeah.
At the same time, the owners are trying to be fair as to, hey, we may not, we just come through this pandemic. We don't have the same money we had to pay you when you were before this thing started. So what's the fair medium? There's got to be a fair medium somewhere. That's going to be kind of tough, man, because money can corrupt everything. Money will destroy everything. And so here we are right now, baseball crying to come back, but they can't come back because they can't agree on a contract to get everybody back to how they're going to be getting paid and how many games they're playing and how to get this thing rolling again. So what's your take on what's fair and what's not fair, or what do you do? How do you negotiate that?
Well, right now, from 3 hours ago, I did see that looks like the Players Union, this is a report, I don't know how official, it's from thescore.com. The Players Union agreed to MLB's proposal to abandon the traditional American and National Leagues this year in favor of a regionalized 3-division format. So, I mean, they're making moves to do so. Yeah, every player is going to want to get paid, but the big thing that I think all of sports is not recognizing is that some families are not going to go into the arenas. It's just not worth the risk for them anymore. especially when you're already paying for cable anyway, and it comes with sports. You're just gonna stay home and watch it there, and you save $20 on a hot dog. So I don't. They're looking at like, oh, we're gonna open the doors and people are just gonna flood in. That's not gonna happen. It's not. I don't care if the Cardinals are gonna win the Super Bowl. Not everyone's gonna show up. They're gonna stay home. Some people have people that are at risk and they don't want to get this thing. Whether or not this thing is still a threat or not doesn't matter to them. The fear is going to drive that.
Of course. I mean, here we got rioting going on. It's like so much for social distancing.
That's true too.
I mean, it's like, if anything, that's going to be the result of this thing coming back. Everybody's out in the streets touching everything and touching each other and hitting this and hitting that. You know,
since we've opened, we've had two
second wave. It's show coming.
Well, we've had two bad days so far as far as cases going up. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's part of it. It has to be. But okay, so I mean, what's fair? I mean, here we are. Baseball plays their World Series or playoffs is what, from November to October, right?
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't it only make sense to play as many games that leads up to that point, right? I mean, wherever you are right now, where the schedule would be, where
just
you are right
games.
now. Okay, you would start at training camp for 2 weeks, or whatever it starts from that training camp. You start wherever you start, wherever the schedule. That's how many games you play.
Yeah.
Leading up to stay on the same schedule to end everything in October. That's how I would see the fair way of doing it. I mean, the season's gone because of the pandemic, so it can only pick back up where you leave off. It barely just getting started, right? You're not missing too many. How many games are you missing up to this point? What about a quarter of the season less now?
Maybe. Right? Sounds right.
Yeah. So
I don't even know what day it is, Earl. So I don't.
Hey, man, you ain't lying.
So, as far as and as far as the money thing goes, I don't know how plausible this is for each league because they all work a little different. But shouldn't it just be you play, you get paid for that game you play? I mean, there would be a little bit less game management stuff.
That's where I'm going when I say, okay, what's so hard about it? If the season starts or didn't start on time, okay, you've lost that money. Join the club. We've all lost that money. There's people that are at home that ain't got jobs. I mean, come on now. Get rid of,
and they can't hit a fastball.
And then, okay, if the season ends in November and we're at what? June, you got a lot of games in between now and then. How about just paying them the same money they were making for each game?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't understand what the problem is. Unless the problem is the owners are saying we don't have that kind of money right now. Well, guess what? Yes, you do, because once you open back up, the money's gonna be flowing again. Trust me.
Maybe just not as much.
Maybe not as much, but you are going to be just as fat. So. All you got to do, in my opinion, is pay the players the exact same thing they were getting paid per game, starting where you start.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's hurting right now. Why do the pro athletes that get paid $1 bazillion to, give up 50 home runs a year, why do they get to just get where you were at? Just get paid where you're at. Don't get prorated. That's just being greedy.
Is Joe Schmo going back to Target or Walmart going to get to negotiate his salary to get more money?
He's not getting prorated for nothing.
Paid the same day, same rate he was getting paid.
Maybe even less. They might say, you know what, you've been at risk. We're going to pay you less now.
So, I don't know, man. To say you got to take a pay cut because the company's going down is one thing. If the company's struggling to pay you, that's one thing. I don't see any sports company or big sports organization hurting that bad. Soon, I know they are. I'm not saying they're not hurting at all. I'm saying they are. They have taken a lot of money and cut a lot of things that have happened because of this pandemic and lost a lot of money. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if things get back to some form of normalcy, you don't even have to have fans in the freaking seats. Going to make some money because of the TV deals. All it's so much money flowing
advertising
around. You're not going to be that little mom and pop's, shop on the corner that can't survive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now that mom and pops, I can understand them pulling somebody and saying, hey, we got to take pay cuts and let people go because we can't afford to keep you. sports is different. Sports is not like that. At some point, you're going to be right back where you were, if not better.
One aspect that at least locally might be affected is, there was a team in Phoenix that was complaining about an arena that they couldn't fill and that it's hard to upkeep. You could see this being the proponent to make the Diamondbacks move, whether or not it's down the street or it's out of state. That's a big arena that's costing a lot of dollars to keep alive for nothing. So,
right.
I mean, I could see that happening now because of this, and that's a painful side of it. But I don't know what the rest of the teams around the league are going through as far as stadium-wise. If they were building a new one, like imagine trying to build a new stadium when there's no money.
There you go.
Like the Raiders are almost done with theirs. What if they don't have enough money to finish the last wall of glass? What are you gonna do?
Yeah, well, you gotta make money, so you gotta open up.
Yeah, there'll be a draft, I guess, until they get the
people flowing in that bad boy. You start making that money real quick.
Just do what my dad would do and just turn the air up so that they don't waste electricity. Why is it 82 in the house, Dad?
Oh, we got a little baseball help here. Michelle Demaria, one of our friends of the network,
Be Daring Foundation.
Daring Foundation. There you go. The baseball season is going to be from June 30th till October 31st. But my question is, how many games is it in regular season from June 30th till the last game of the season? How many games is that? I don't think it's 114, is it?
162.
Yeah, it's 162 for the regular season, but talking about from June 30th.
Oh.
From June 30th, how many games will it be from June 30th till the last day of the regular season? Whatever that number is, that's the games you should be playing.
Yeah, don't add more. Don't add back-to-backs.
Don't add or take anything away from it.
Just start.
Stay right on schedule.
Yeah.
And just going. Now, NBA has a different scenario. The NBA scenario is totally different because their season got interrupted.
Yeah. I mean,
now they have to find a way to pick it back up. Now that's more difficult than baseball because baseball season was not active at the time. It was about to get ready to go on. It happened when this thing started happening, their season. So they can do what they're doing, pick up where they, when everything gets clear, we pick up where we go. But basketball is way off schedule now.
Because
we're talking about 3 months now.
Yeah, and now you have that extra ripple of the Damian Lillards of the world saying, if I'm just playing regular season games and I don't get a chance to fight for it, I'm not going to play.
I agree 100%. What good is it going to make for me to go out there and play some games that's not going to mean anything?
Essentially, they're asking their stars to risk injury to re-promote the NBA as a brand. For what gain?
And injuries are going to be higher right now.
Yeah.
Your chance for an injury right now are a whole lot greater now.
Funyuns don't help keep you in shape.
It's a really bad situation, but at the same time, you have to make do with where you are and where we are in reality. The reality of the matter is you can't take back what happened.
Yeah.
Now you just have to find the best way to go forward. And going forward for the NBA right now is you want to give every team the chance or the opportunity because they can say, well, the guys that were the last place teams, can you really get up and say we would have had a chance?
No, you can't, but you can definitely charge them, the fans, more because you're getting more revenue for everyone playing a game.
Good point. So you can't take that away from them either, that they would have had that revenue at least from those games, right?
And the NBA wants that.
Everybody's got to get something out of this.
Yeah.
Everybody has to. You can't just say, well, if you were not 5 games out of the playoff race or whatever, you're not in this tournament we're going to put up. You can't do that because those teams, and some of those teams are in some really, really small markets, are losing a lot more than you're going to get because you made the playoffs.
Right.
So I don't know. It's a bad situation. It's like, wow, that's going to be hard to kind of put together. But if you want to just say, like we were talking about last week, what you were talking about, take every team that's in the dang on league and put a dang tournament down. If you can't win one game, no matter who the team is, whose fault is that?
That's yours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
one game. If you can't beat the Golden State Warriors in one game, something's wrong with it.
At least this year, right?
This year's the Golden State Warriors.
The NBA
or this year's just whoever the bottom feeders are. If you can't beat them, shame on you.
Yeah, the NBA is going to want that revenue, and
Let them in.
it's the most equal way to do it, because if you're going to do the traditional playoff sense, that benefits only a small portion. Why not open the floodgates and let all the fans view all of their teams play, whether or not it's one game or whatever? I don't want to do the whole regular season warm-up stuff. Like, just be ready or don't.
Yeah.
Just play the games and get it over with. Like, this thing should have been done by now. Just get it going and get it over with. You know, just one game and go.
Now, if that happens, if you don't have a warm-up or tune-up or nothing, it just says be ready to go, it's going to be a lot of upsets.
That's fine. That makes it more interesting.
Don't think that day top seed can't get taken out, because they can get taken down.
I want to see
one-game scenario.
I want to see the Hornets versus the Kings in the finals. That's what I want to see. I just want to see the most random finals of all, and just.
But I think it's going to be just open. It's not going to be East and West. It's just going to be.
Okay, then it's going to be Kings and Cavs. Kings and Cavs. And the Cavs are going to win 56, and it's going to be 40. 56-40, because no one's going to be hitting anything. It's just all layups.
Oh, my God. It's going to be Brick City. And then, especially where the NBA is today, shooting threes, it's going to be Brick City.
Yeah.
Whoever needed their building rebuilt can have that done on the court, because it's going to be bricks flying.
The finals trophy is just going to be a brick this year instead of the ball. It's just going to be a golden brick instead of the Larry O'Brien trophy. It's just a golden brick on a stick. That's all it is.
It definitely has to be done right away, because now you're starting to dip into the off season and going into the next season for the NBA.
It needs to happen like last week. I don't know what they're waiting for. Just get it going.
And so if that be the case, and it is right now, because that's reality where we are right now. Nothing's happening. They're starting to go to the tables to negotiate when and how all this is going to go down. But when it does go down, you're talking about championship winner raising the trophy up. 2 weeks later, season starts.
Yeah, no parade.
I mean, I'm just saying, unless they're going to move it back, of course, and move it to a situation to where they're not behind or with football starting and all that. You know how everybody thought that would be a good idea, where the NBA could start,
right? You
know, where the football season is gone or over with. I mean, so I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see how they adapt. And so far, we're doing what human beings are going to do: fight over money. That's where we are right now. And that's going to prolong it even worse. And then here's a good question. Why the hell were you not fighting over the money way back 2 months ago when this thing locked everybody up? You should have been doing that back then, negotiating how this was going to go down.
Yeah, the NBA
just not going to start doing it now.
The NBA waited way too long, in my opinion. If it hadn't happened a week ago, it's not going to happen, and it's just going to be no one wins this year. It's going to be the asterisk year, and that's just how it is. So, bummer for the teams that were in the rush, but not happening.
Oh, guess what? Guess what? We didn't do none of our in the news stuff, but guess who's working out with Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott?
Do I even want to know?
You pretty much know, because you've been pounding me for saying his name.
Oh no, it's Des Bryant.
Yes, boy. He is doing workouts with Zeke and Dak Prescott.
You know your GM didn't get you a good receiver when
he looks fat as heck. No, but he looked good. He looked okay. But yeah, this is not game speed. This ain't NFL.
So Earl still wants him.
He looked like he could still play the game, but he did look out. He looked chubbier, but he looked like he could still play the game.
So you're saying Des Bryant's playing tight end? Is that what you're saying? And next you're going to tell me Jason Witten's going to play offensive line. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, well, Jason Witten left anyway, so he ain't on that team no more.
He'll come back.
No, he already got picked up by somebody else. I forgot what team it was. But yeah, speaking of getting picked up, Joe Flacco signed a 1-year deal with the Jets.
Yes, that was super interesting.
That's pretty cool. That's like, okay. Why are all these guys getting the opportunity and Cam Newton still sitting out there?
I don't know, but a lot of people think it makes sense for him to come to Arizona with Hundley being in some little issue here, legal issue. So I don't know.
No, that man's not coming here for no men. I mean, for backup money that Hundley was making
to a kid, literally to a child. I mean,
right. No way. Man, I love how people can take a story and turn it into something. I mean, come on, does that make any sense at all?
No, but they think like, what's the explanation? Oh, Cam's kind of mobile still. Murray's mobile. It makes sense. No, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense at all. Why would we do that?
You're gonna sit on the bench and ride away.
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
Pretty much.
That wouldn't work.
But I mean, Murray is very, very good at staying out of harm's way.
Mm-hmm.
So get a really good shot on him. It's just going to take him just being really careless for you to get a good shot on him. I think he'll last another season, 16 games, no problem. So, I mean, Cam Newton coming here to what? Learn what? Teach what? I mean, I hear people saying he was a Super Bowl quarterback. He took his team to say, okay, yeah, but what system was that?
Yeah. I mean, that Super Bowl wasn't the most memorable performance either, but
it sure wasn't. But I mean,
where would you put him?
He did get there. I give him that. He did get him there. But come on, people, let's put him where he would make sense at X. Because Cam Newton, to me, I don't care what anybody says, is not a backup quarterback.
No.
Okay, that alone right there should be the end of story. He's not a backup quarterback, and why would he take the chance of going somewhere to be a backup? I don't see that happening. I see him looking for that opportunity if someone gets hurt, training camp, arm, whatever, and he's going to be in the starting lineup the time he comes on the field. He's not going to be backing up nobody.
Right.
Or you go into training camp with him fighting for the starting job.
You know where I like him?
Jacksonville.
Not Jacksonville. I actually think the Raiders make a lot more sense because I don't believe in Carr and I don't believe in Mariota.
Two has-beens already in the Raiders. He's too many people. I mean, yeah, you're right. He could beat them out.
Third has-been's a charm. You know what I say?
He can beat them two guys out. He should be able to beat them two guys out.
You would think.
But I know Gruden would love to have him. That's just I know Gruden would love
to
have him, Cam Newton. But I think he's going to go to the only spot where he can go where it's going to be a starting opportunity, and that's going to be from somebody getting hurt or somebody in a camp that's not so sure about their quarterback, like you said, with Oakland and maybe Jacksonville. So we'll see, but it's not going to be the Arizona Cardinals, people.
No.
Come on now, let's get real. What else is going on? They signed another tight end today, or a receiver that turned tight end. So I don't know. Nobody really knows the guy or his name or whatever, as far as being a big name or nothing like that. But all of the free agency talk died down. All the picking up of Epperson Griffin, all that stuff died out. It's gone. It's not happening. So
bummer. It's a big bummer.
Another question I have too is about the California teams. If California has already declared they're not opening back up until the vaccine is there, and they haven't opened up yet, because I got brothers, I got family back there, they haven't done it yet. What are they going to do when they start opening up things?
They had, sports-wise, a lot of teams had talked about coming over here or Vegas.
Right. So they have to go somewhere else, which is requiring travel.
I'm requiring that the Lakers do not come here. Okay? If the Lakers come here, I'm leaving the country. I'm giving up. I'm going to Canada.
That would be crazy. You got LeBron and Kawhi Leonard in your backyard on a nightly basis.
With their fans still living here.
Their fans are already here. So
I'm good. No thanks.
Oh, man. This has been an unorthodox show. So we didn't do usually what we normally do. This
curfew
is
edition.
One of those things, but we got through it, man, and I appreciate you, bruh, every freaking week and every day. So keep doing it, keep rolling, and we'll try to get back next week and do this thing again. So Bird Gang, Suns Nation, get ready. Some type of sports is getting ready to come your way, hopefully. How's it going to look without you guys being there? I have no clue. We'll catch you next week. Peace out, Bird Gang.
See you.